Hi, I'm Trey,
And I'm Monica.
and this is another one of our adventures in California history. In this adventure, Monica and I are headed north of Sacramento to a place that's just east of Yuba City and a little bit west of Grass Valley in Nevada City. Runs along Highway 20 to a place right about there. Here we are a little closer on the map. You can see Yuba City there, and up in the foothills, Grass Valley. The Yuba River runs this direction and makes a real sharp bend right there before we hit Englebright Lake. That sharp bend is named after the town we're headed to, Timbuctoo. If you're making the trip to Timbuctoo from the east, this is the bridge that you cross just as you get off of Highway 20. We're on our way to Timbuctoo. Although spelt differently, Timbuctoo, California takes its name from Timbuctoo, Mali, Africa. The story goes there was an African-American miner who discovered gold, and the town was named after his hometown, Timbuctoo. Whether that story is true or not, we don't know. Timbuctoo represents mystery and a faraway place, and certainly the miners realized that, at times, Timbuctoo, California could be just that. Entering Timbuctoo from the west will take a bit longer. You'll go over a rough road, but the bridge going into Timbuctoo is pretty new, only a couple years old. Here we see Monica looking at the remnants of the old bridge. You can see the rocks stacked down on the left. Here we have a drawing from 1862 showing the town of Timbuctoo. Like most gold rush communities, it got its start panning for gold. But when that was played out, they soon started hydraulicking. You can see the hydraulic hills in the background. That's where Timbuctoo's wealth grew from. Timbuctoo became a town that had a bowling alley, an ice skating rink, banks, bakeries, hotels, the whole shebang. It was quite the place. Here's a photograph of Timbuctoo and the hydraulicking operations. You can see the water shooting up against the hillside. They would blast the water against the hills, and then the resulting flood of debris would be panned for gold. Fortunately, there's even an old photograph of Timbuctoo. Here we can see some gentlemen standing near the street. It looks like a bakery, and you can see the Timbuctoo Hotel on the right. Down further on the far right, the last building you can see is the Wells Fargo stage stop. We'll come back to that later. Timbuctoo is sometimes referred to as a ghost town of a ghost town. Starting in the 1920s and on, the townspeople, the few that were left, and others, tried to preserve the remaining buildings. Here we see in 1945 Stewart's Wells Fargo building. It actually became quite a tourist destination, and people would come from miles around to see the old gold rush town. Here I am standing on Timbuctoo's main street, and the reason it's called a ghost town of a ghost town is, despite the people's best efforts to preserve the last couple of buildings, soon people forgot, vandals moved in, and tore them down. Here we see Stewart's Wells Fargo building, as it looks today, pretty much crumbled to the ground. This is Timbuctoo's last remaining structure. Stewart's Wells Fargo stop, the last crumbled building of Timbuctoo. Here's a fun side-by-side comparison taken from the identical spot. It shows Timbuctoo on the left in the 1860s and on the right, 2018, 150 years plus. My, how things have changed. Just like its namesake in Africa, Timbuctoo, California seems a world away. Time has passed it by, and the only thing left is one crumbling building and memories. Maps of all of our adventures and the routes to get to them are available at our website. The maps are interactive. They move around. You find an item you're interested in, you click it, and up comes more info. Hey, I know those people. I wonder what this guy's got to say.